What it is, what it is, what it is. Y'all know who the heck it is. It's your boy, Mr. OKL, coming back at y'all boys again. Coming back at y'all boys again. And as y'all can see, we are continuing a live that we had before with a special guest of mine that I had on the page. Okay, so as y'all can see in front of y'all, the thumbnail says "Housewife or Independence," Part Two. Like I said, we're going to continue this conversation, okay? Because we want to know what's really going on. What does it really mean to be a housewife? What does it really mean to submit to a man? What does it really mean for a man to be a man for submission, et cetera, et cetera? So we're going to get right off into these endeavors. Um, without further ado, first thing y'all need to do is hit that like button, hit that subscription button, hit that notification bell, and make sure y'all boys stay tuned to Mr. OKL. I got lessons of a housewife in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the people know what the heck is going on.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lessons of a Housewife. How y'all doing today?
Okay, okay, I heard it from her mouth. Um, lessons. First off, um, before we even start the show, let them know where they can follow you at. Let them know what you do. Let them know what you're about. Just go ahead and spill yourself real quick.
All right. Well, y'all can also follow me on YouTube of Lessons of a Housewife. You can follow me on IG at Lessons of a Housewife. I'm a traditional housewife that takes care of her home, and I actually currently started my own social media content to try to help younger girls and young daughters out here to understand my role, so that way they could become one.
Wonderful, wonderful, beautiful. And I love how she connotated that. She said she wants to raise up or help young girls. She's not out here trying to tell y'all men what to do. Okay, so you guys don't have to come on the page like, oh, why you got a female on the channel trying to tell people what? No, this is not what we're doing over here. We keep virtuous women over here. We keep chaste women or chaste women over here. Okay, so that being said, let's get right on into the show. Let's get right on into the show. Guys, we got a good one today. We got a good one today. The name says it all. Lessons of a housewife. And I think a lot of people need lessons from a housewife. Not
Right.
only women, but men as well. So let's start off by getting to know you real quick. How old are you? Where are you from? Are you married, single? Do you have any children? Any question that you don't feel comfortable answering, you don't have to answer. But I do want to extract some information from you so that our audience could kind of see where you coming from. You see what I'm saying?
I am 34 years old. I was born in the North, and currently live in the South. I am a mother of three. I have a biological daughter, two stepsons, and I have a very, very intelligent husband that I take care of.
Okay. Okay. And you said something significant. You have two step children. I like
Yes,
but before you said that, you said you're a mother of three. I
right.
like how you said that because it shows me that you didn't shame or you didn't put any negative or derogatory connotation to that. So basically, as a stepmother, how did you step into that role where you were like, you know what, these are not my children biologically, but I'm still going to play my role. How does that, how does that work out for somebody like yourself?
Um, my husband's character was what shined the brightest, and understanding where he's come from and what he's doing with his life and his children, it didn't hinder me in deciding to let him take me on too at all. I let it come with time with the children, so that way it wasn't forced upon. And of course, with time, the children, I grew on the children. But I've always wanted to have a family, and I didn't disregard him out because he already started one.
Okay, okay. And would you would you say from a woman's standpoint, is it more is it easier for a woman to take on a stepmother role, or would it be easier for a father to take on a stepfather role? Elaborate on that for me, please.
It's way easier for a woman to take on a stepmother role. You know, we're our natural behaviors of wanting to nurture is a big part of us. to where we don't want to see any kid without, I mean, us women that still have that feminine, state of mind, don't want to see any kids without someone that could be there to help with boo-boos and, just
Okay.
be a little mentor or nurturer for them. So it grows on us, which is why, women would accept pets. It's the need, the need needed, it's
Buy a dog and die alone.
not so it's way easier for women. We're designed that way, as it
Okay.
would be harder for a man because men can only truly take on what they have created.
Okay. Okay. So we gonna leave that part alone. That's something deeper to extract, but we'll leave that part alone. All right. Wonderful. 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 So uh guys, hit that like button. Hit that goddamn like button. Hit that like button.
Yes, like buttons up, please.
Lessons of a housewife. How did you and your husband meet? What was the dynamics? And it doesn't have to necessarily be in specifics where, oh, you guys met and he was charming. Like, what, where were you and where was he at in his life? And how did you, you know, and him come together in that point?
Uh, it's I guess I don't want to get into detail on how we met, but uh
You don't have to go too deep. You know, remember, like I said, if you don't feel comfortable, you
right.
good. You know what I'm saying?
We had started conversations first, and we talked about everything. And the one thing that I loved about him is he was straightforward. He was straightforward. He told me who he was. He told me what he was doing. He told me about his plan. He and of what he's trying to do with himself, not me included. You know, goals that he was working on, troubles that he's had that he's fixed. And I fell in love with everything he was saying. And then, of course, the interests that he had was similar to what I was intrigued by too. And he also had new information that I wasn't aware of. So that was even intriguing. I feel like women, fall for guys that can give them that shock and awe. So he had experiences. He's a vet, so he's had experiences that I've never even seen before in my life. And we spoke for weeks before we actually had our initial date. So by the time
Okay.
we got to our initial date, we were just already we had conversations for hours on the phones before, and we were able to keep constantly communicate, seeing each other face to face, and enjoying that time. And it wound up becoming to where we were pretty much inseparable. And I've always made my time to be available to him. At the time I was working, I
Key
was just a
point.
little waitress. I didn't have a career, or I didn't really have those type of dream goals these women think they is important today. I was just a little waitress, and he was on this really good path, but he made time for me, even if it was the smallest time. It would be like maybe just a time to come pick me up and we sit and talk, and he'll fall asleep while we're talking because he don't work 16 hours a day.
Hmm.
I enjoyed the fact that he picked me up just for those few hours.
Right.
Yes, I always made myself available to him when I could, for him to come and just, take me. And he showed me about everything he was doing career wise. And he would actually take me on the road with him when at the job he had at the time. And that we even spent time like that. Our dates would be at his place of work, just for that little bit of hours, his lunch break. I'm there with them, being introduced to
Oh, oh, come
employees
on.
stuff like
Come on, lessons of a housewife. He didn't take you to a five-star dinner. He didn't take you to
no.
Ruth's Chris. Like, why did you choose him?
Right, like, oh,
Right?
that shining and that dining and whining stuff is just freaking overrated. Any woman she feels like she's obligated to that's already a red flag. you know I was appreciative of the time that he had for me. It could have been the littlest of times. He would pop up at my job to be like, hey, just want to check on you, I gotta go back to work, give me a kiss and go. And I was so flattered for that, because he was able to think of me within that little bit of time. So we wound up growing so strong with one another, to where we just became unbreakable. And of course, not every relationship's perfect. We had issues in the past. I was really naive to the world, so I did have some conditionings that I have broken over the years. So we weren't always perfect, but we worked through everything together.
It ain't gonna
Everything.
be perfect. And I
It's
love
not.
that you said that. I love that you said that.
It's
Shout
not.
out shout out to that. Good bread is in the building. I want him to chime in. What's
Hi, Mr.
going on, big
Goodman.
bro?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all feeling today?
We
Good,
feel good.
good.
Uh, Great.
We a good bro. We got lessons of a housewife. Definitely is an example of what we talk about when we break down the conducive relationships and the mind states of a woman that we revere to. You know what I'm saying? Women say they're high value, but they don't say it with a man. She happens to have a man, a husband, and she's doing it right. Good bro. Chime in, talk to us. Let us know what you're thinking about.
I just jumped on, so I just want to be a fan for right now. But I appreciate the sister. We need more sisters like her. That's
Thank
that
you.
that's not fearful. That's not fearful. And again, great vetting, great way to vet. Because also I know why we don't get a lot of sisters like yourself on these type of panels, because this is an all man space. So
Right.
normally soon as a female come on this in the space, we automatically assume that she's a modern woman, and
Right.
and we got to stop doing that. You know what I mean? We got to stop doing that.
That's why I put the fork in the road in the beginning. Like, don't even come at it like that. You never see okay bring somebody on the panel that's not really conducive in the mind state. So uh good bread. Me and her was just going on and back and forth. I want you to do you got time?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, lessons of a housewife. I want to continue with questioning, and I want Mr. Goodbread to chime in because, that's my big bro, and he definitely has a lot of insight on relationship statuses. So, lessons of a housewife.
Yes.
What what does it mean to submit to a man? Is it something that's harmful? Why do so much modern women look at it like it's a kryptonite to their power?
Uh, they the real reason why they look at submission as kryptonite, like you said, is because them having to give up control, and that's what they want today. Modern women want to have control of everything, everything that they say, they
Con-
do. They involve themselves with men, and the thing about submission is understanding that you're subordinate to the man. So
Okay,
when
okay.
you're submissive, you understand the man's ideals and logics is going to consort for your needs also, not just his.
Okay,
But you're
so
going
hold on real quick. I want to stop you, not to cut you off.
to allow.
But and I love that point you brought up because it renders back what you said, control. Goodbread,
Right.
you have a submissive woman. We all know who you got, Mrs. Goodbread. Um, are you trying to control her like because you want her to submit to you, or is it like a superiority complex? Like what is it, you know what I'm saying? Why do women think it's a control thing, Goodbread? Like, I want to hear from you real quick.
All right, y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, cause y'all know we finna get it, we finna touch on it, we finna go in. All right, for one, women are manipulated. They have been manipulated. You know what I mean? I ain't even gonna go biblical on you guys today, but we know that women have been manipulated. For some weird reason, somebody tricked them into believing that our superpower, which is being masculine and masculinity, is their superpower. My female, Mrs. Goodbread, she know that her submission and submissiveness as a woman is her superpower, and that's what keeps me simping. Because I told y'all, any woman that like the truth and is submissive and is submissive, I'm gonna simp. If she can take the truth and if she can remain submissive, I'm gonna simp. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean, really realistically, guys, women that still are women know that they're out every man, we have no choice but to be kind, protective, to a submissive female. Yo, ain't no man gonna sit there and stand there and watch a woman that's being a woman get taken advantage of, unless he's a hell of a son. But then that's a red flag for the female to know. You know what I mean? That's it's red flag, so it's no excuse. But
That
yeah.
I love that spill, and I want to kind of piggyback it right back to lessons of a housewife, where she said it's not necessarily control; it's more so beneficial to you. Lessons of a housewife. How does submitting to a man benefit a woman? Because obviously it's misogyny and it's control. It's like slavery. But I need you to kind of break it down for us a little bit.
The benefits of submission is so you can prosper in your feminist, your feminine state. You know, you can prosper and take on your natural, you know, structure of yourself. You can let him lead and have him guide you so that way you're able to guide the children correctly. And it keeps a structured household for you, for the children. And you're able to, I feel, walk with joy and pride that you can be in your natural state. You know, it's a lot harder to have to pretend to be something you're not, you know, because at the end of the line, you're always going to want to revert back to it. There's two examples out there I don't want to mention because I know there's going to be a whole issue with one of the communities, but you always at the end of the
Hmm.
line of trying to transfer yourself into something, want to revert back when you could have just started off of being in your natural state and what you're supposed to be. And so it you blossom that way. You're a lot more youthful, you know, you get a lot more love. The man cherishes you because you allow him to become the leader that he is, and not necessarily allow. I want to take that away because
Right.
we do not make the choice of a man to be the leader or not. They usually are. We give them the ammunition to take
Thank
on
you for
to
that
push them
correction.
to that
Thank you for
leadership
that.
that they are, you know? So um we supposed to be the ones right there that's rubbing their backs and saying, go ahead, honey. And it's the love you get back from that. When your husband or your man needs those words of encouragement, he's willing to put his life on the line for you. So why wouldn't you just give him the not even give him the right? Why wouldn't you just become what you supposed to be? Why not just be in your feminine state and become the subordinate? So that way he knows that what he's protecting is worth it.
That's a
And
fact.
that's just the value is in that. You know, you have a security of your life. There's a man that's willing to put his life on the line for you. And you're able to protect your kids and make sure your kids grow up well. You're able to make sure you're okay. You know, you're following the codes and guidelines for him. So he's gonna be able to do everything he wants for you guys, you know. So it's a beauty in the family structure that has been broken. There's
See,
beauty in it.
and, what I want you guys to understand, what she just broke down, it's Spanish to modern woman because they have gone through so many derogatory men, which is why they always talk about their past trauma. They've gone through so many derogatory men that they don't understand how to submit to a man because they keep blaming, the men that they've dealt with on every man that they see next or they choose next. That being said, it raises another question for me, and this is open.
Hold on. Before we jump,
Go ahead,
be-
Mr. Gabret. I was waiting
before
on you.
before we go to the next topic, what you just said was absolutely correct. But you see how it gets twisted too, because nowadays, guys, these little girls ain't even in relationships. Then the guys are not. It's no relationships going on. So we're talking about the parents that's supposed to be teaching this next generation. They still clinging on to hurt and damage to where they're
Hmm.
now teaching it to the little kids. So these little kids is learning from 4 years old. I'm talking about the little girls, that is. They're learning from 4 years old that they don't need no man. Plus, they got single mothers is ruling, and they're watching their mother do everything. You know what I mean? So now when they get with a man, submission is so far from their mind because since four, they've been doing everything. They've been watching their mother do everything because she still haven't attracted a man of value. So, you know what I mean? The kid don't know all of that. All the kid know is that no man want her moms. You know what I
Right.
mean?
It's
So,
crazy how you brought that up too. You feel me? Even a side note on what you just said, good bread. At my store, like I always see the young ladies, like or the young girls. They be like 12 or 10 or 5, and they always got some money in their purse. But the boys, they always get told, "Oh, go pick out what you want." They don't never have money. So it's like these young women are being raised to be strong, independent at
And
a
consumers.
very young age.
Right.
You're
And
what I'm saying?
consumers.
Exactly, and consumers as well.
yep.
Right. So and it segued that actually segued to my next kind of question for both you and lessons of you, Mr. Goodbread, and lessons of a housewife. Where do we learn all this from? And I want to start off with the men. where do men learn this weak nature that a they have to pander to women, um, and where do women learn that they have to be treated like how Beyonce said you don't think you irreplaceable, or I don't want no scrub. Like, where do women learn these things from? And I think Goodbread touched on it. I think they learn it from the parents. But if y'all want to go ahead and dabble on that real quick, where do you think these kids are learning this from, where they're growing up to be 21, 23, and they're growing with these derogatory mind states? Where
Uh,
the hell are they getting this from?
Again, if you said it right, I got it. I got it. Let me use me as an example. Before I changed the laws of my mind and realized not to go with the programming, before I went MGTOW and went the other way from the black cultural programming, you know what I mean? I had a hell of a mother and I listened to her, and she weakened me by her not attracting a man, not allowing me to see a man take care of her. I didn't know what it was to take care of a woman. I didn't know what it was to take care of a woman. All I thought was I gotta buy a woman a gift to make her happy, because on my mom's birthday, on Valentine's Day, these holidays, I'm buying my mom's gifts. She's teaching me how to buy her a gift.
That's a fact.
So only time I know is, oh, a woman
Hmm.
is happy when you buy her a gift, when you simp. You know what I mean? You see how we're all raised in simp culture,
Good point.
and it's our moms, but some of us have the gall to call it out, and then you got some of us that want to dig in that cat litter and cover it and act like we all got some super moms. But you know what I mean, and this is no knock on our moms. She just, this information that we teach, this information that's out right now, think about it. Social media gives us an advantage. It's a gift and a curse. They didn't have that back then. So all they knew was how to bring us up, to keep us alive. They didn't know how to educate us. So they maintained us, but they didn't raise us. And you know what I mean? You can
Right.
it's and
Hmm.
it's that.
Hmm.
That's that.
Lessons.
Yeah.
What you got to say about that?
I'm glad he said that, the mother thing. I wanted to touch on what you said, Mr. Goodbread, about the mothers, because the thing about when you have these single mothers is what they do with their sons is they constantly complain about how men aren't good. And you, if you see your mother constantly on a dating uh on in this dating world, being in the dating market, all you want is the natural behavior of a little boy wants their mother to be happy, of course. So they start to
Good
take
point.
on these feminine ideals of how to treat women through to how their mother was responding to men. So they start to simp out more. My mother should have been treated like this, so I'm gonna do this. I felt like my
Hmm.
mother should have had the world, so I'm gonna give the girl the world. And they start simping before they even know if this girl's worth the simp. You
Right.
know, so
And
that was a
and
good
Good point.
example. And what Kilowabo said, of course, the social media, entertainment, everything that's out here that's in the tip of your finger right now is definitely a big part of the indoctrination of it. You
yeah,
have music that you did a video earlier, okay, OKL, about the top five, not top five, but five examples of songs that were played that pretty much indoctrinated our community, and
Hmm.
many others.
I
And
did.
there was a couple of songs there that I've actually enjoyed when in my youth, but do we
Hmm.
actually listen to the words? So there's so much out here, the media, entertainment, television shows that has pushed this type of idea that this is how men's supposed to be and this is how women's supposed to be. And being that we didn't have the structured roles in our home where we were limited to this type of access, where the fathers are like TVs is off at a certain time, like how I was raised, and you were only able to watch certain stuff. um, we started to take on these traits, and these personalities of people that we seen on TV, because we thought that's what it was. That's it. It goes with the modern women and with the simpish men. There's so many shows out
Hmm.
here that show simp men's winning the girl at the end or something like that,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
think about it, guys. Our woman of the year is Cardi B, so that
Mhm.
makes her king Ahab Offset the man of the year. And that's the programming. They want all of our women to be and move and act like Cardi B, and they want all of the men to be an Offset.
Mhm.
Quiet in the house. When the last time you saw an Offset? When the last time you saw his married wife Cardi? Bet you see her way more than you see him. That's what they want. That's the new agenda. The new agenda is to turn the men into little girls and turn the women into little boys.
Right.
And
That's
that
fact.
way, when they come over, they can knock the men over. The men is so weak, they can knock the men over, and then they can reprogram the women to be slaves. I stand on that. I mean, that's biblical. That's in the biblical
Mhm.
scriptures.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's going to be a
We all
period.
stand
It's
on
going to
that.
be a medieval period. You know what I mean? They say winter is coming. The recession is near. It's January. It's January, February 2023, and it's going to be on. It's going to be on.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Which segues me. Let me ask y'all another question. Let's get back into the housewife.
Yes.
What are the duties of a wife? Okay, and I want to speak on the duties of a woman who is already a ready and prepared wife, not one of them ladies that say, oh, did you put a ring on it yet? All right, so I'm not gonna do no wife stuff yet. Like we ain't
Right.
talking about y'all, because the Bible clearly says he who finds a wife finds a good thing, not he who finds a woman, not he who finds a lady, not he who finds a virgin. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. So
Right.
what are the duties of a wife, a ready and available wife, even before you even get with your man?
Um, I could name a
Hold on,
lot of.
hold on, guys. Can I just say something real quick?
Of
Titus said,
course you can.
"Okay,
Go ahead.
okay, you right, right?" And but when you interpret the Bible, he interpreted it as he wrote it as if we was all going to follow it. So I don't like to tell the people like, oh, when he say wife in the Bible, you know what he talking about. If you're having sex with a particular female, y'all married and under his eyes. So that is equally equivalent to your wife when you're reading these scriptures, when you're in the scriptures and the context of
Hmm.
the journey is clear. And to top it off, it's rare because he also have in Proverbs 31, who can find the rare virtuous woman.
Good plug
That's
in. Good
why
Brad. Good plug
that's
in.
why he that's why he says he who finds a woman finds a good thing, because he know it ain't too many great ones out there.
Good plug in. That's why I let you segue that. I love it.
Facts. And he know that. That's his words, not mine. So I mean, I'm not bashing women. I'm just giving people the biblical red pill facts, the truth.
Right.
Mm.
And it's clear. We can look outside and tell. Like we don't have many lessons of housewives on the panel where you man, we gotta yell and scream and curse shit. YouTube not gonna push this video.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start cussing shit
That's
out
a
and
fact.
all
They
that.
not used to this. This right. What? Man and woman chilling, talking, vibing.
Right.
Wow.
Not having to be
Come on, man.
combative and.
And this is what Okay Let's Talk TV is about, man. We bring the real. We in the dean's office, righteous fear in the building. Y'all know what the hell time it is. Y'all know what the
Yes.
time it is.
Yo, and guys, this is what happened when you put your ego aside and you trying to figure out solutions. Ain't nobody asking for anything from each other. We just want solutions and good conversation.
Right.
Y'all go into these panels with you know what I mean, pre-assumed notions and stuff like that. Is you're not gonna get very far in the conversation. You know what I mean?
Right.
So let's get back to you.
Okay. Um, the question you asked me was the duty,
What is the duty of a ready and available wife?
the duty of a available wife.
Yes.
Um, not one that's taken. Okay.
Let's start with that one.
Hmm. That's a good question. I honestly, I want to make a biased statement. Just to how I was to be ready. To where my husband knew I was ready. Was I was willing to give up anything that he thought would hinder us. And I think that showed the form of submission right there. If um if a woman's readily available and wants to be married, the guy that chooses her, because we don't pick well, obviously, the guy that chooses her um would probably come with certain a certain structure for you guys. Are you willing to give that up?
So basically, sacrifice. He was willing to
Yes,
sacrifice.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice what makes you modern, or anything that could hinder you from y'all two to become one. I'll use what I did as an example. When I was working, you know, my husband, if he ever was, at the time he was still building himself. So if he was ever tight, I let him have it all. I pretty much would give him everything. I gave up the finances, so um I that's the hardest thing for modern women to do, and that's why they choose that route, because they fiend for money, But if you're willing to give up the access to create your own money and follow a man's guide and leadership, so he can make both of y'all prosper, that will be the best way to go about it.
Which
What
is
are you willing to
it
sacrifice?
can all right. So if I'm not if I'm incorrect, correct me. So you basically were willing to sacrifice being a strong and independent woman,
Right,
and you were willing to submit to a man and get
right,
on his program.
yes,
Okay. All
Man, that's a beautiful spill right there,
right.
and I so appreciate her for that, for saying everything she said, because she broke it down to the molecule, guys.
Mm-hmm.
thank
This
you.
is and this is what I tell people, and this is why I tell them, stay out of other people's relationships. Sierra and Russell Wilson. You don't know what he requires her to sacrifice. Obviously, it's not her profession and how she get money, which is twerking and doing commercials and doing music videos. You know what I mean? So we don't know what the sacrifice is. But like she said, every man requires a sacrifice
Mhm.
to queen you, to queen you. And women think that they're the man in these relationships. Modern women, a lot of modern women think that they're the man, that they're the prize, and that's where they go off. That's where they go off the hinges wrong. But that's absolutely 100%. What she said is 100% correct. Because
Thank
look, some of us get lucky. A big requirement of mine would be no social media. Good thing Mrs.
Right,
Goodbread don't have any social media. So I mean that's not even a requirement of mine because she don't have a social media. You know what I mean? She don't have no social media presence. And I mean her Facebook that she made back then, I run that page whenever I get blocked in Facebook. Like so it's like
Right.
and then it go back to what she said because a guy, however the guy's leading and however he's building, I
hmm
mean, might not necessarily require her not doing something. I mean, because it's pertaining to the guy. I mean, women are the rib. Women are the rib. So when you fit the woman into the frame of the guy, you know what I mean? The guy don't fit his frame into the rib. The rib fits into the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Into the
right,
frame. The guy is the frame.
right, right.
So that was
Great point.
beautiful.
Big point. Big point. So, good bread. Just to extract. Do men have to sacrifice in relationships as well?
Yes, men do. What you mean we gotta sacrifice? We got everything is a sacrifice. Like we gotta sacrifice, bro. We gotta sacrifice. And men gotta submit too. See, this the thing. This the thing, yo. Hit that like button. Hit that like button or leave,
Do
because you
that.
might not like this. But hit the like button on the way out.
They ain't gonna like it, good
You
bread.
know what I mean? Because we removed the gray area. We ain't got time to play because playing don't get no work done. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I mean, men have to sacrifice and men have to submit, guys. We have to submit. When I say MGTOW, y'all sit there and y'all take this mainstream shit that the red pill done spit on your favorite channels. MGTOW is Roman 12:2. That means do not conform with the ways of black culture. Black culture is what's running right now with the music, the TVs, the mainstream. This is black culture. This is black. We are not supposed to conform in any which way with that. That's Roman 12:2. That's MGTOW. That's the MGTOW verse. And he says it in there. Go the other way. He says it. His words. You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta go the other way. Because who are you going to? These all these folks over here is worldly. They worshiping the money, just like Lessons of Housewives said. That's why financially, if a female can sacrifice the money and give her money to make you look good. Remember that video I did where me and Miss Goodbread told you that Modern women, they have a absolute problem being stingy. They stingy.
Hmm.
They stingy, bro. And that's
100%.
one thing. A woman gonna spend money and invest on what she really like. So if
Right,
she not investing in you and you doing all the investing, that's a red flag.
right, right. I highly agree to that. I highly agree to that. It's like they I was gonna make a video about this, but I believe that social media is the conjuring of the seven deadly sins, all seven of them. You
It's a
know,
fact.
it gives women this pride. You know, it makes people sloth. They don't move from their phones now. They don't move from the
Mhm.
from TV screens, computer screens. You
They,
know,
they rav. They rav.
greed,
Let them get
right?
triggered.
You got all of this. Everybody's constantly capturing picture videos of people just going at it, and instead of breaking it up, or they intentionally are causing chaos just for likes.
Hmm.
You know, you have greed. Greed is the biggest issue that modern women have.
Hmm.
Envy. You're looking at all of these little fake
Hmm.
lives, and now you want it. You know,
Hmm.
it's one of the biggest X factors that we have.
Obesity too, because you could
Obesity,
Uber Eats
yep,
anything now. You can sit your
glut.
big ass right down and Uber Eats anything.
There's people that even watch people's YouTubes that just eat
Hmm.
and
That's
listen to the
weird.
sounds of eating. I will never understand that, but
It's
it
weird.
pretty much is. It created all seven deadly sins, and it's
But
embedded in these women now.
I said that a while ago too. That he not coming back. So I don't know why they use this the sky zaddy. They use the sky zaddy trick in the church because Sky Zaddy not coming back. God is already here, and He have everything implemented for everybody that want to choose otherwise to kill themselves. They're gonna do it to themselves, just like how black culture did it to itself. When you research the history, repeats itself. We always do it to each other. Come to find out through the movie Woman King, we sold each other to the fucking the Americans, to the
That's a
Hmm.
fact.
American boats.
That's a
Yep.
fact.
So you
Yep.
know what I mean?
It's always
We
been on.
we
Mhm.
always do it to ourselves. That's why the biggest battle will always be you versus you. Not you versus the modern woman, not you versus the submissive woman, not you versus the white man. It'll always be you versus you, guys. Don't do it to yourself. But back to this joint, man. I love this. One duty I require though. One only duty I require for Mrs. Goodbrad is the kids. Like, and she give me total access to the kids. Like, she's so like I could marry her if I wasn't if I was worldly. Like, we could get married. Like, she's one of those girls that I
Oh,
can marry her. But like, I'm anti society. Like, whatever society is doing, yo, you can count one thing. If you don't know nothing, you know that Mr. Goodbread is not doing it. He's not doing it,
so
yo.
let me ask this question. One of my famous questions is this for both of y'all. Whoever want to start answering, go ahead. Who controls access to sex, men or women? And also,
Yeah.
who controls access to relationships, men or women? We can start off with the sex part first.
Women controls the access to sex. Men control the access to relationships.
That's a
Well,
fact.
damn.
It's simple, plain and
It's
simple.
plain and simple.
Miss Goodbread
There's
control the
no,
bots.
you cannot. I would love to hear the excuse if there's any woman that's actually watching this that disagrees on why do you think we don't, you know? So, but we do.
And those will be the ones that try to lie and say, but he should have put a condom on. He shouldn't have left it in. He
Right.
shouldn't have left
Yeah,
it in.
They're gonna
With
say
that
that.
shit,
it's a guy's fault that your legs is open. Okay.
with that
He's the one that
150
I
year
got
old
it.
story.
I got an interview with a white woman that I'm about to break down soon. She said, "Oh, he's the one that penetrated her," and it's like, okay, all right, whatever. So let's move further past that. All right. So that being said, if women control access to sex, we'll get to the relationship part in a second. Um, who is causing more of the detriment in the dating market, men or women? If you would put men and women on the scale, who is causing more of the detriment in the dating market?
Women.
Men.
Oh shit. Hold on now. Lesson said women. Mr. Goodbread said men. What's going on here?
I say it's men,
We
bro.
got a
You know,
debatable here. Hold on. Let me
listen.
hold on. Wait. Let me let Lessons go first this time.
I believe it's women. Um, Well, because I honestly believe that, men would have was going to have options. Men, obviously with their age and their value, they get higher. They were always going to have an option. Women are canceling themselves out, and it's making the pool, especially in our community, a lot smaller, even though that we outpopulate the man. But what it does is it starts to hinder our growth as a Black community, because men are going to start to choose to go elsewhere. And when they start to choose elsewhere, we don't grow as a people. It's going to be nothing but, a mixed races, which I'm not against at all. I have very good friends that has mixed children. I'm not against that at all. But we're not growing. Our community doesn't grow. We're at a stagnant because we have all these other options to deteriorate our race. So with women being as rambunctious and crazy as they are now, these modern women, men actually starting to see this dating pool being so slim, they're going to go elsewhere. And I believe that they should. Men supposed to create their legacies. They're supposed to, you know, procreate and be fruitful, and do for themselves, provide for them families. And if that's the last choice they have, they're going to, because usually that is the last option, men actually dating outside their races. But
Okay.
a majority of Black women being so misguided and falling into the lies of destructive behaviors, it hinders the growth of as a people. We don't grow. It's going to be less and less of us soon in the future. And I feel like the women are the problem because of that.
Okay. Okay. Good bread. You said men are, you know what I'm saying, the one are causing more of the detriment in the dating market. Can you elaborate on that real quick?
Absolutely. If I got three examples right now, right? One is the easy, obvious one. If men stop simping today, if every man, every single man stop simping today, by next summer, the females will be acting some right. It'll be evened out. Guys that deserve to get women will get women. You know what I mean? Like for the brotherhood. For the brotherhood. If all the brothers, if we all, because we all brothers, right? This is what we all saying. We brothers. If
Right.
you if you tell if you tell the truth on if you tell the truth on a brother in the
Mm-hmm.
Black community, you know what I mean? He gonna be mad at you because we supposed to be brothers, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if all of us brothers got together and stopped simping, by next summer, every brother will have their right pick of it'll naturally, the natural order will pan out. Because there's a girl for every guy on this planet.
Right. I could agree to that.
You
That's
know
a
what I
very
mean?
good point.
Then we got, I always say it, men are the Carnet. Coochie is powerful, but men are the Carnet. So if men stop giving the power to the coochie, then let me remember the coochie is like the wall in the socket, the socket. You know what I mean? We're the plug, we're the appliance and the plug. We
Mhm.
can take our plug out and take our appliance somewhere else. We don't have to necessarily put it in and make that connection and have this. You know what I mean? Like, so we have done that. We have done that. Like our fathers. My bad. That my bad. Our fathers ain't contribute. Our moms ain't contribute. You know what I mean? So it left us to only we have to go to our father, our biblical father, bro. You know what I mean? We have to. But dudes is running from it and dudes is suffering. It's the dudes, bro. It's the dudes.
And I love both of you guys' points. I
Yeah,
agree with
Hold
both of
I
on.
y'all
agree.
points.
Okay, not to cut you off. And the absolute fact, which is the biblical truth,
Mm-hmm.
who ate the apple? Eve. And
Right.
who also ate the apple, who allowed her to eat the apple, and not only allowed her to eat the apple, and ate and participated. So you
Adam.
know what I mean. It's always like I said, history repeats itself. So it's going to take Adam to tell her to stop, not to eat the apple, or it's going to take Adam to tell her put the apple down, like not take in her foolery. You know what I mean? All right, the women are selling coochie nowadays, so you know what I mean. We can't buy it and you know what I mean? We can't go buy it and then talk about it, then talk about
Right.
oh they selling Gucci. Like that don't
That's a
make
good point.
sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Truthfully, like no, all gray area removed, la.
I
Like,
promise that was a good. I was speaking on that in my video earlier on the 5 songs that created beta male simp nature. Um, a lot of men allow this shit, and we not supposed to. Um,
yeah, they being mingy to their brother, not even knowing it. Subconsciously, they being mingy to their so-called brother because you trying to skip ahead. You trying to skip the line. You know what I mean? That's all Simps do. Simps refuse to do self-improvement. Simps refuse to submit to God. So they don't want to submit. They think they know better, so they try to skip the line and use the money. You know what I mean? But that's worldly shit, bro. He telling you don't conform and you trying to do it that way, so you gonna always end up with dirt, bro. One of these dusty chicks and child support.
okay, let's let.
that ass. No cap. Y'all know how I kick it, bro. I don't stand on nobody. I don't talk down to my brothers. I talk up. I speak up for my brothers.
That was a
That's it.
great point.
Yep.
Great point. Let's get to the relationship part. Men control relationships, correct? Is everybody in agreement with that?
Yeah, we control relationships. Like I just said, I don't. I'm not getting married. You know what I mean? And I make it loud and clear. I'm not getting married. And Miss Goodbread with me. She rocking with me. She's still submissive to me for 17 years. So she control the sex. I can't get no sex. You know what I mean? If she don't allow it, and she can't get
Right.
no marriage if I don't say I want to get married. So yeah, you
Right.
always on point with that.
Yep.
Okay. Lessons. What do you think?
I agree. The same way. I agree. When we are women are the access, holds the key to having sex, as the men are in the full control of your relationship, your marriage material or not. So that's why we're supposed to be careful on how we present ourselves, so men can understand what role we would be in their life. But women think that they could just be anything today and still get a man, but they learn the hard way in the end anyway.
Okay. Let me ask this question right here. What is a pick me?
A male NGA lover. That's what they call a male NGA lover. That's what they call them.
What's
That's
I
that?
what
never,
that's what
I never heard
that's
that.
what
What is?
modern women call our sisters. Her so-called sister that like black men. That's what she call them. That's
Wow.
like how they used to do back in the slave days when the white people used to like, and the cool white folks that used to like us, they used to try to take care of us. And then a white person ran past them and saw that. They'd be like, oh, you being a nigga lover. You know what I mean? So that's what the sisters call the other sisters that like men that don't want to be little boys and hell
Okay.
of her. That's what they call them. Pick me.
Okay. Okay. I
you
agree.
know, it's funny. I've been trying to figure out what exactly they mean by calling women pick me's, because I've even been constantly called that, and I'm already picked. So ain't I the chosen one then? But
Yo, hey yo, that's what I say. They
That
don't
was a
they
great point.
that's what
I
I
won't be the
say.
pick me. I'm married. I'm chosen. Y'all are the pick me's. Y'all are the ones needing attention to try to get a guy to pick you, right?
Exactly. All
So
women want to be picked. That's what it don't make sense. All women want to be picked. You know what I mean?
So again, let's get to the core of it. What is truly a pick me besides the derogatory, besides all that shaming? What is the true pick me? The girl that actually wants to be.
A
What is that
traditional woman.
defined at?
A traditional woman. A conservative female.
I'll go back and forth on that. Let me know what y'all think.
I'm gonna say a traditional female, a traditional woman, a conservative female. That's what a pick me is.
hmm,
Lessons.
I like that the definition of that being, that's what it picked me, but the being that the modern women use it to try to make it harmful for women like me, or women that want to become something like me. um I honestly believe like the term in itself is really what they are. Because they strive so much for attention to get a guy to come in their DMs to say, hey, I choose you, Pikachu. So like it's the ones that are single that are desiring attention from a man are the ones that's really screaming up, pick me. But
Lessons. It's deflection. They do it to us too.
yes,
They
Hmm.
call us Yay. They call us Yay and then go turn around and kiss each other. It don't make no sense.
Yes, sir.
Can't make this shit up.
Shame, insult, guilt need to be right.
But I do love his term on what the pick me's are. Like if a guy, if you heard a guy say, "I'm looking for a pick me," that would be the definition I would hear. What Mr. Goodbread said, I would consider that being the actual definition. But being that modern women want to use it as a derogatory term, it's 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 kind of funny because they're the ones that are pretty much jumping up and down, like, "Hey, see me, look at my butt cheeks, and look at these tights, like choose me," So it's funny. It's like he said, it's deflection.
Okay. Okay. Move on to the next one. Y'all piggyback off this. I'm gonna say it and y'all just tell me your thoughts. Men age like wine and women age like milk. What are you guys' thoughts?
That's a whole fact. That's a whole fact, bro. That's a whole fact. You know what I mean? And it's up to God. It's up to God to slow that down. Like it's up to God. God control everything. So the women that look fried, hella fried, you know what they did. They got some real mean shit in their cat litter. You know what I mean? They got some shit in their cat box. Had their kids covering it up for years. You know what I mean? It's just written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's God. That's God and his hourglass. God sit there with his hourglass and you play with him and he play with you.
Right.
It's a fact. I get it.
I could agree to that. We women age a lot faster than men do. Um, and through the hormonal structure of us and the childbearing and everything like that, I think is why, and why our youth is compacted in such a small time. And men are always supposed to be able to uh, procreate and lay their seed and create. Men can create a whole society themselves. Just a few men can repopulate an earth if they have a bunch of women. So I think the testosterone in men, and this might not be scientifically true. This is just my opinion. The testosterone in men, them being very active and their bodies being conformed as tools,
Hmm.
is gives them a more of a the youthful structure in their lives. That as women, we're more of laid back and I guess content and timid. We're supposed to be, timid, to where we're having all of the hormonal structures of us and the childbearing that kind of will wear our bodies down, and it limits us. So we're our the what is the thing that happens when you get a little bit older and you no longer can have children. That's a big part of our aging process. Men are supposed to constantly continue to accumulate women, and no women today want to speak on that, the whole polygyny structure of things. How I feel like all
Hmm.
men are supposed to have that in their lives, and that's another part of the guy's youth too. You have to continuously procreate. Y'all youth being extended longer than us, it keeps y'all testosterone levels up, it keeps y'all sperm levels up, so y'all can populate. So I think that's just maybe that's my philosophy on the science structure of it. But yes, we do age a lot quicker than men.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna just add on to what she's saying. Truthfully, historically, what it was the way it was designed was women supposed to be pretty and they supposed to doll themselves up. Like you gotta get it. Women take the kids to school, right? They come back in the house, they got all of the time in the world to do them and dollify themselves, prettify themselves. See, women, they did some extra shit and they done accelerated their aging process. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They done ran in grandma closet and stole everything out grandma closet except for some damn dignity and some damn toughness, real toughness. You know what I mean? They put all this makeup on, they pack the makeup on, they you know what I mean they all damage their hair. They all damage their hair and they blame that on man, but ain't no man ever gave a woman hair advice, hair tips. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So they all run around here bald headed. Then you don't forget they trying to be independent. So when you be independent, a woman is designed for what you heard what I just said. They supposed to be in the house. 3 o'clock come, they go pick the kids up, bring the kids back, get dinner ready. Ain't stress. You not stressing. They
Right.
added on too many caps, bro. And then with that now, right? because now you got to be independent. So now you out working 9 to 5, 9 to 6, trying to compete with man. So
Right.
now when you get home, your kids is probably, you got to go pick your kid up, bring your kid to the crib. You got to go to the crib. You ain't got time. It's like 8 o'clock. You did not cook no dinner, so you stop by Popeyes. You grab the processed food. Before you know it, you bust that down. Processed food is what's killing them. Black don't crack, but it expand. And then Friday come, because you done did all that shit. You done went to sleep, woke up, repeat. You did that 5 days. Friday come, you relax. You
Mm.
drink your wine. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, go to Sutter Home now. Bust out the Sutter Home. You know what I mean? Bust out the Beringer, the Moet. And you know what I mean? That shit all takes a toll on you. Like these women are now living like rock stars. And they weren't designed to live like rock stars. That's why they breaking down the way they breaking down. They broke back mountains, yo.
That's why there's a whole epidemic of these women trying to get these surgeries because they know that we decline, that we are depreciated items, more than a man is, and they feel like their independence is the fountain of youth. They can get all the type of surgeries and makeup and facial reconstruction they could possibly be to look like a 20-year-old when it winds up looking way worse than it did when they were 20, to try to keep this youth. And that's why they don't want to give up independence. They still want to have the attention of a 20-year-old. They still want to be able to look like a 20-year-old, and money is the only way that can happen. It's another vanity, disease out here that these women are on, which is why they can't stand being in a marriage, because they won't be able to do that. They won't be able to just take all this man's finances and blow it on themselves or get intention from other men. So
Right.
That's a fact, man.
Good
That's a
point.
fact.
Good point. What's a man's duty in a marriage? And I want to start off with lessons of a housewife because uh, we don't only talk about the problem, but we also want to bring out solutions. A woman does have to recognize a man's ability to be able to, I don't know, provide, lead, be competent, and also uh, be strong enough for her to see his will. So, what is a man's duty for a woman like yourself to recognize that?
um uh,
Okay, hold on, guys. I gotta go real quick, but I'll be
Man,
back. If
okay,
y'all still on,
okay,
I'll jump back on. But
okay.
you
okay.
want my answer before I go?
Yeah, go ahead. Close out since you got to go. Go ahead. Let me hear you.
All right, yo, the man is the brain, the man is the head. So my duty is to think at all times. I gotta think. God, we call women dumb and we play like that, but guys, Beyonce, she not the thinker of that power couple. You know what I mean? And she trusts that Jay-Z is thinking all the time. All right, y'all. But that's my duty, and that's your duty as a man. Think. You're the quarterback. Think, think, think. I'ma holla at you, okay? Lessons of Housewife. It's been
Yes,
great. And I can't
you.
wait. I can't wait to check you out on the channel. Can't wait to interview you at the school, Common
Heck
Sense. So
yeah,
She be there
definitely.
soon. She be there soon. Don't worry about it, good bro.
no doubt. Okay, set it up, and we'll probably, matter of fact, we'll do like a taboo night or something. It'll be me and you against her and Miss Goodbread or some shit.
Right.
We go.
All right,
Hey, trust me, we got it. Hey,
all right,
peace,
bro.
good bro. Hey, if you can come
Thanks
back
for
on,
joining.
if we still on, come back on. All right.
Bet. I'm gonna get little man.
All right, for sure. So, Lessons, you remember the question? You want to answer that?
Yeah, what is a man's duty?
Yeah.
I don't know if you said particularly as a husband, but I like his point that think, because I honestly was going to say I thought my answer was going to be biased because I call my husband an intellectual all the time, and that's the thing. It was his education, his knowledge that he had to be able to do what he does is like the biggest part of why I love him so much. It doesn't necessarily everything that came along after that, his security and his um financial stability and everything like that, but him being able to think logically, think, calculate, analyze, take a step back and review stuff, become an observer, make really great decisions is I think is the biggest part of a man's, duty.
Right.
Of course, it comes along with him having to be able, once he gains a family, then of course all of the security and financial stability that he has to provide for his family has to come with that. But he has to know how to think so he be able to do that. So I 100% agree with what Mr. Goodbrad said.
Okay. Okay. I I want to segue another question. What does family mean to you, or what should family mean to a? And we still, we still talking about the readily and available wife. What should family mean to a readily available wife, even though she hasn't had any kids yet, but she's
Mhm.
available and ready?
um, an available woman that wants to be a wife, the family that she creates with the man that chooses her is her priority. Is that the children that she has is her family. Her husband is her family, not siblings, not parents, not great grandparents. They are now associates. They are now people that you didn't even have a choice in, to be honest, that
Hmm.
they were just given to you at birth, that they have to be put aside. You have to prioritize the family you created. And that's the true family. You and the man that chose you's bloodline, and what the man creates with you is fully on with being your complete family. You can have friends, you can have, you can still have your other families that you can go and visit, but that's your true family. The guys, just like the man's children and wife that he takes on, that is his priority. That's the basic makeup of a true family. The family that not the mothers and fathers, that's just only part of your growth. you
Hmm.
get, you get born into that. You don't get a chance to choose your brothers and sisters. You didn't choose your parents. They raise you on supposed to guidelines and structures and order, as in, oh, I like that comment. Is define his purpose. Yes, I
Right.
agree with that too. A man's duty is to find his purpose, right? um but the family is considered a husband and a wife and their children. That is the primary family.
Right. That's what a family is.
Mhm.
And I'm glad you said that. A lot of modern women, a lot of single mothers think that a family is comprised of someone who just had a child. According to the Bible, according to righteous speakings or righteous words, a family is a man, woman, and children. Even in the Kemetic, the represents man, woman, and child. That's comprised of a family. And today, you have women who go online and say, "These are my kids. I
Right.
did this. I did that." Where does this pride come from? How did we get to a point? And I don't even want to say we, because I'm not a woman. But how did these modern women get to a point where they are happy to say, "This is my child," knowing that this is somebody else's child as well? As a matter of fact, that's the man's seed. He just placed the seed in you.
Mhm.
So, like, where are we at when it comes to that mind state?
At a loss, to be honest. I'm still trying to figure that out. OKL. I'm really still trying to figure out on how women find some pride in that, to just be a single mother with the children. I don't see that as being something to be prideful about. I see that as a failure. So um being that we've had decades of time to be incentivized for that type of role, it's now being put in all types of entertainment, movies, and shows as something that it's supposed to be looked on as, as a good, something to be proud of. And women feed into that. Any women that's in that position is going to feed off of that, so they can feel better about their mistakes. They can feel better about themselves. And I don't see any pride in being someone who's lost out of relationship and now has children without fathers. So I'm still trying to figure out. Honestly, I don't think we can ever figure out the modern woman's mind, because it's so
You won't.
backwards.
You won't. You won't. Trust me, you won't.
It's so backwards. None of it makes sense. They contradict themselves all the time, and they really can't debate you on it. All they do is have some type of anecdotal experiences, or somebody they know that probably could have came out a little bit better than the majority, but they still always look past the point of these things. That's a failure of you, especially being out of wedlock. That's a failure. Like that you have a decision in that. You can't got to stop blaming the world about that type of decision. We are the gatekeepers to sex.
Hmm.
Why did you decide to have these multiple children, if more than one, with a guy that wasn't a potential dad? And it's all due. It falls right back into the lines of the greed part, because they know they can get incentivized from it. They know that it's not frowned upon anymore. There is no shame. We can't shame these type of things. So they feel like they can walk around with pride because everybody agrees with it. And then when people actually speak on it and say, like, no, this is a problem, we're the issue. We don't have the experience of being this. I'm told that all the time. Well, you're not a single mother. You ain't never had a little, just because you found a guy that did this. The guy chose me. All I did was give him my life.
There we go.
And he chose me. And 8 years later now, I'm a housewife. So I made the decision to become what he wanted me to be, so that way I can be a great mother to his kids. I had to make sure I vetted him before. I listened to him. I understand what he liked and disliked before I sat there and was like, okay, I'm gonna have his baby. So it saddens me that it's gotten to this point, and there's really no true understanding on why they can walk that way. But when you have everybody telling you you're good, you could win a trophy for being a loser, you're gonna walk around with pride.
Lessons. Did you grow up with your father and your mother in the household?
I did have both parents at one point. I lost my mother at a young age, and my
Sorry to hear
father
that.
had some issues in the past. But I didn't realize that they were actually having marital issues. I come from where the mother and father. I'm the third child out of five and have the same mother and father, so that's kind of rare today. Um, my father, even though that they had marital issues, it wasn't shown to me, and that I can appreciate out of both of them, that they didn't let the kids be aware that we're having issues, to where every time my father was home, he was treated like a king. My mother worked at one point, but was a housewife, because she actually was starting to get ill. So she was always home, and she took care of us, and she would make him the biggest steak, and make the kids, fried chicken, and fed him first and then fed us first. And the girls had to get up from the table and clean the table from our brothers and our fathers. And he would sit down in the chair and, be relaxed. And they always showed me that type of example of a mother and father, which is why I never realized that they had issues. I didn't find out until I was older, until I was a teenager, that there was
Right.
some issues that were involved. So it became broken at some point. But what mattered in the first 12 years of my life, I knew both my mother and my father, and they were there. And my mother always played the housewife role. My father was always, I thought he was working, but was always out doing stuff, came home, was treated like a king. And that could be some of the conditioning that I have. I might be a rarity out of this, this modern society when it comes down to the parenting and two-parent homes.
Right.
But it wasn't always perfect. We did have welfare issues. My mother wound up getting sick. My father had substance abuse. So um, there was some broken times. They fought, but I wasn't aware. They did it in their room. They didn't do it in front of us. So I didn't have an idea of how bad things could get with couples. The way I was raised, and it saddens me that it's it's not like that, at least for a lot of other families, to I think that is, what I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have in the modern world, that the internet has become the modern woman's diary, and everything is on this. Everybody gets to know everybody's business now.
Right.
And kids have to see this. The
Yeah.
kids, they even do it in front of the kids now,
Right. And
to where the kids are starting to look at their dad a certain way or their mother a certain way, and they grow up with resentment. At
Speak,
least my
speak,
parents at least hid that from me.
speaking of that, let's actually go into one of their diaries. Shout out to the damn chat. You feel me? We got
Yes, shout out.
aviated in the building. We got XL Pro. You know what
Man.
I'm saying? And you know they loving you, man. They loving your shit. Daily Good Bread, Mr. Good Bread, Killer Kawabo, King God. You know
Awesome.
Raynard, Burnett. You know what I'm saying? We got y'all in the building, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate
Yes,
y'all,
thank
man. Check it out.
you.
We funny. Let's go in their diary, like you said. You know they online is their diary. So let's go ahead and check something out. Let's react to a little video. Shout out
Okay.
to Mr. Good Bread for that. Okay, then. So let's see what this modern woman has to say. And as y'all can see, can y'all see that? What is it?
Yes.
Can y'all read? Do I have to spell it for y'all?
And I can read it.
Okay, let me play it out.
You hit it from the back, beating my shit in. I ask you why I feel like.
Now, first of all, just in case y'all dummies don't know how to read, it says single mothers by choice. Okay, by choice. This is an epidemic. This is their diary. TikTok and Instagram and online, that's their diary, like she said. We gonna find out all the truths on this derogatory shit that we be seeing when it comes to these ladies.
Mm, mm, mm. Single
You hit
mothers
it
by
from the
choice.
back, beating my shit in. I ask you why I feel like that. You said feel like what? I tell you meat to meat. You said you took the rubber off. So I'm throwing it back even harder. You tell me you got the nut, so I'm throwing it back even harder. You got the one hand on the neck, one thumb in ass, hitting my shit, beating it the fuck in. Now you nut. You leave the money on the dresser for a plan B. 2 days later, you calling my phone asking me, did I take what? I left the money on the dresser for the plan what? You hit it from the back.
Thank you,
Beating my
Mr.
shit
Goodbread.
in. I ask you why.
Goodbread, what's going on, man? What's going on with these modern women? What's up with them? And then they say that it's the man that's irresponsible. He's the deadbeat dad.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm not an advocate of contraceptives, you know, because I think all that comes from government daddy Satan. But
Mm,
what I will say is that these contraceptives, these single mothers have full control of these children being born in this world. And she even talks about how she enacted and said she threw it back a little bit more so that he could whatever. You feel me? We
right.
know what she said.
Right.
And now all of a sudden she gonna keep the money and not quote unquote get rid of the baby.
Right.
I'm gonna blame both of them, but at the same time, modern women, you control access to sex. What's going on here? What's
See,
going on here?
they're purposely getting pregnant because they know what it comes with. It's incentivized. It's incentivized. Every single mother is single mothers by choice. Every last one of them. It was your choice to be a single mother. And she's proud of that because all she has to do now is go straight to daddy government to make sure he pays up or he's going to get locked up. And look how masculine she is. Look at her behavior.
Come
They
on.
really think they're men out here.
Hmm.
They really think that what they're doing is one upping a man. Well, this is the worst. She's the perfect example of men actually starting to go overseas and
Passport bros.
options
Yes, sir.
because this type of behavior right here, the clapping of the hands, tatted
Mhm.
up, weave down to her knees,
And Becky Wig. Come on. Wig wearing diva. Hold
talking
on real
like
quick.
she's fought a few dudes.
Hold on real quick. Let me bring it up. Let's bring something up real quick. Let me bring something up real quick. All right. So as you can see here, we have toxic. We're black, right? You black, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we could talk about this, guys. Ain't no we black. So we gonna talk about it. Toxic traits that the modern black woman contain. Um, let's go down the list. Number one, masculine and aggressive. Number two,
Right.
let's go in order. Am I lying? This is a chart that I made up. Am I lying when I say that most modern black women are masculine and aggressive? You just saw it. We just saw it right in front of us.
Right.
Am I lying?
Nope. Not at all.
Okay. Combative, argumentative.
Yep.
That's number two. Number three, jealous and envious. What do I
Yes.
mean by that? What do you think I mean by that? Lessons of a housewife.
The they do have envy in them when they see other people's relationships. They want to try to get into these other people's relationships. You got a lot of women that want to sleep with married men. They're jealous because of cheating being one of the main examples that they swear up and down that all men do, and it's a problem. It's really a jealousy that she wasn't prioritized, and so to speak. um that social media definitely brings out a jealousy in every last one of them. They're jealous of
Yeah.
men. They're jealous of the things
There
that
we
men
go.
are able to
There we
do.
go. There we
That
go.
that men are embedded in their DNA is to have this type of access to sex. Supposed to have this type of access to sex, and they try to up one a man by that. They're very jealous of men. They're
Hmm.
envious of men's being able to prosper in a financial way, even though that men built the world. So of course they know how to make the money.
Right. Which
And
it segues to number four, money hungry. They're money hungry as a motherfucker.
mhm.
And I like what you broke down earlier. You said you were working as a waitress, or you was getting your own money, but you sacrificed that because you wanted to submit to a man. And
Yes.
you don't that means you're not money hungry.
Right.
I think it's dangerous for a woman to be money hungry.
Very.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's dangerous for a man to be money hungry in a certain sense, because I
Mm,
think men should be money hungry. That's how we eat, and that's how everybody around us eats.
mhm.
What do you think, lessons of a housewife, is the detrimental factors of a money hungry woman? We see the
That they're willing
OnlyFans,
to
we see
do
the selling of cat and all that. Talk
right.
about all that.
That they're willing to do anything for it. That's the biggest detriment for modern women. When you're money hungry, you're willing to do anything for it. Anything for it. You know,
Use
they're willing
dudes
to
on
sell their own
dates and all
kids.
that.
They're willing to profit off their own children. They're willing to steal now for it. They're willing to trap men for it. You
Hmm.
know, they're willing to go to the government for it. They're willing to crucify anybody for it. Like they will go to the biggest extremes to get it. They'll sell their body for it. The oldest trick in the book, and they think that they just came up with this now.
Hmm.
Like this is something new.
We been know
You
that.
know, it's it's one of the biggest issues.
Let's go to number five real quick. Number five, and a great breakdown. I love how you spill. I really love how you spill. Number
Thank you.
five, we got the bad mothers slash too much single mothers. Okay, and I put bad mothers in front of that because single mothers think they're good mothers. I'm sorry to say it, sweetheart. I don't care how much you tried, but you're just a thriving mother. Okay,
Mhm.
the best mother or a good mother is up under a man, and a woman knows that. What do you
Right.
think about that?
That is 100% true because I honestly had a debate with somebody recently about that because I said that I'm a wife first and then a mother second. And to be a great mother, you have to be a wife.
There we go.
It's the hierarchy inside in the family structure. The man is the head, and then comes the wife, and then comes the children. So to be the good wife, the good mother for these children is to
Let's
be
go.
under a man.
Keep talking.
You know, so I I get it. Well, I get debated all the time. Oh, well, no, you're supposed to be a mother first. If I put the children first and not the husband first, and he walks out, then the children are at a loss.
Hmm.
Then the children won't grow up with the father because I didn't put him first. But if I
Right.
put my husband first, he's going to always provide and protect the children.
And Mr. Goodbrother tells everybody this best. They put government daddy first. And I'll
Yes.
tell you this best. Back in the early or late 60s, early 70s, black women put government daddy first over the black man. And I can tell you this through studies. Black men were rising, unemployment was falling. I can't say this enough, but black women still chose welfare, government assistance. There was a Section 8 housing reserved for white women, but black women took over that. because they wanted to be single mothers and they thought they was getting one up on the men, which
Right.
goes back into that number three where you broke down the jealousy and the envy.
Hmm.
Okay, and number four, money hungry. So let's go to number six. No accountability and it's always correct.
Boy, no
That's an
accountability.
easy one. That's not even
No
that's an easy
accountability.
one.
That's not even in their vocabulary. Oh my gosh, they don't know what accountability is.
Um, I think it's kryptonite to them, if you
Yes,
ask me.
it is. It is. Because then they have to own up. They have to own up that they were wrong.
But what's so wrong? What's the problem with owning up lessons? Like why? How come you can't just be like me as like I've owned up to a lot of things that I've done. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I was wrong.
Right.
I felt good after I owned up to it. Things.
Mhm.
What's the issue with owning up to your shit?
Because it's not incentivized and you have to change. Those are the two biggest factors. You
Mm,
know, when being that you can't profit off of just you can't this I use the RAPE for an example. You know, if
okay.
you're the blame of that, then you know that you have to carry yourself a certain way. That's considered change. But if you're not the blame and you can actually sue the person for doing that for you, you profit off of it, everybody's going to use that excuse. So um uh, no accountability in women is going to have to make them own up, and they can't profit or benefit from it, from
Nope.
being a victim, and they
Nope.
have to change their mindset or their choices.
Which is why the delusion spills out every time you tell a woman to submit. They say, "Oh, what is this slavery?"
Hmm.
They because they like she said they're gonna have to change the laws of their minds
Right.
and understand what it actually means to submit or actually means to appreciate a man. And they don't want to do that because it takes away from the benefit that they get from this feminine world that they live in today.
Right.
Great breakdown, great breakdown. Uh, I think we segued that one good. Let's go to number seven.
Okay.
Non-submissive, easy because we broke that down probably like seven times already today. Slash strong and independent. Why do women think that they should be strong? And lessons of a housewife. Most women who are strong and independent don't know how to be submissive. They claim, "Oh, I know how to be submissive for the right man," or "I know how to turn my submissiveness on and off like a light switch."
No. That's a no no. No, you don't just turn off your submissiveness. I'm not in this house all the time, and when my husband get home, I could be like, hey, you go eat later, and then be able to rub him down later. That's just, you're bipolar. I will look
Right.
at that as there's something wrong with you. And
Hmm.
a lot of strong independent women do have these type of mental issues, so the why they think it's something to be is only because they get financed for it. That's only that. They want to pick the easiest jobs that's out there, that they can do, that they're sitting down, that they can make, they make these fake businesses up. No real businesses. Selling weaves and nails and lashes is not a real business. But if they're making money for it, they're going to consider themselves strong and independent. And it's funny that they even say that they're strong and independent when they're always constantly crying and they're living off of men's income.
It's a
So
fact.
you're neither strong nor independent. You're a dependent, a weak dependent at that.
You are a weak dependent.
The
Said
children are getting
well.
raised with what? You got either alimony or child support, you got food stamps, you got WIC, then you got your little job, and then you're probably doing OnlyFans. And that's still men's money coming into you. It's not like you
Exactly.
created the money. So how are you
Exactly.
independent?
So you're a dependent.
You're still a dependent. And then you got Big Daddy government watching. You're still a dependent. And then you're strong. When y'all are the constant complainers, there's not one video of me up sitting there crying and weeping about something.
Hmm.
Why?
Hmm.
I feel more strong than they do. But yet I'm more fragile spirited than anything. But they use that term. I swear it's like everything's backwards with modern women. What they say they are is totally the opposite. Just like when they go on all of these little dating shows and they're like, I'm looking for a man that's not a liar. Oh, she's a liar. Yeah, that's what she is.
Hmm.
She's done that a lot. I'm looking for a man that ain't broke. Oh, because she's broke. It's always the total opposite.
That's a fact. Great call out. I'm not saying it, guys. It's not me. Don't try to throw rocks at me. It's a woman. She's a housewife. She's not no pick me. She already got picked.
Mm.
Don't come at me, Mister. I'm just here to talk about it. That's it. Don't come at Mr. OKL and make it seem like I'm bashing because she's saying it right out of her mouth. Okay? And don't bash her either, because then we got problems. We got problems. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscription button, hit that notification bell. Before I get to the last question I'm gonna ask her, I want you guys to understand that I just put the StreamYard link inside the chat in case anybody wants to come in, and I need y'all to have exclusive questions for either Lessons of a Housewife, Mr. Goodbread, or myself, based on the topic. Okay, you know what I'm saying. So, we want to get y'all questions in. So it doesn't matter who you is. Come on to the panel and ask questions so that the people can get the lessons that they need. All right, Mr. Goodbread, you there?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
All right,
you're
so
back.
okay, we back. Okay then. What's up with these non-submissive, strong, independent? Um, where did they get it from, good bread? What in your? Because I'm gonna keep it 1,000. You one of the experts in this field. Where do these non-submissive, strong, independent women get their fucking mind state from?
They get it from their moms, man. They get it from their moms. They get it from society. It's not just their moms, because again, guys, some of these girls they actually got two parents in that home. You know what I mean? But this is the simp culture now. So when you get a stepdad or a dad in the house, and the mom's is still dominant, the mom's still doing everything, she's still quarterbacking, then the daughter that she bringing up is gonna see that, and that's what she gonna adapt to. So that's where these women is getting it. And then, what is it? 78% of women, 78% of the households is a single mother. So
Yep.
that's it right
Yep,
there.
about that. Yeah, that's you got it about
By
right.
choice. Like
By choice,
you said,
absolutely. You
you were
see,
speaking the truth there.
yeah, you saw that video right there, man. We gonna be dissecting that thing, and along with others on the channel tonight.
Right. That's why I didn't want to go too deep because I already know you're gonna kill that. I just wanted them to kind of see it real quick. But good breath fun to kill that.
Yo,
You gonna
no,
kill that.
man, listen, that's amazing right there, man. And then it's sad because this just goes to show you guys who ate the apple, who let her eat it, because all he had to do was keep that condom on, because he left the money, there, so she can't knock him for not taking care. That was his way of saying, I don't want you to have that baby. You know what I mean? So she overrid that though. You know what I mean? Oh man, it's just, and that's what a lot of them do, bro. This is what a lot of them
Okay.
do.
That was a
Okay.
bad choice on that guy's part, trusting her with money when she was already a thought. You could tell she was a thought. Like, why would you?
I
That
mean,
bad.
hey, that's how these pookies move today.
It's lazy. It's a lazy thinking. It's lazy thinking, and that's what go on in the black community. A lot of lazy thinking, not
Yeah,
too much critical thinking, and it's just sad.
It's a sad case. Last but not least, let's go to number 8. We got more, but this is a concrete list for y'all to see what I'm talking about. Unnatural slash wig divas. Time in and time out, black men are talking about the fact that we love women with natural hair. We like your natural look. And women say, oh, we don't do it for you. We just do it for each other. Which is to say that we don't care what you like or not.
right.
Elaborate on that. Y'all talk to me about that.
When a woman don't care what a man likes about her, if she's that selfish, then she obviously don't want a man. The one thing that we are supposed to do is be what a man wants. We actually have to listen to what men want, and that's the whole structure of the manosphere. And
I'm
it's sad
happy you said
that
that.
it's taken this long for people to actually for it to become such a trend. Because I mean, I've spoken to my husband years, and he told me what he liked and disliked. I was a young girl and I used to wear weaves. I'm natural now. I actually have locks, but he didn't like it. He told me one time and I removed it. That's all it took. I'm not really interested in that. I really I really don't like the lash thing, and I really don't like that weave thing. I prefer natural. It was
Right.
removed. You don't have to say it again because I want you to be interested in me. I want you to pick me. I want to win you.
There we go. And
Don't
and that
care.
that's the main key that I wanted to, kind of expound on when it came to the unnatural wig wearing divas. Like
Mhm.
we say it again, time in and time out. Black men, we love you exactly how you is. You look cute, and you want to go out there and try to change it up. How are you supposed to attract somebody who likes you when you're not doing or sacrificing the very which thing that they like? Uh,
Right.
that being said, aviated views, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, OKL, man? I'm happy to be in the show right there, man. I never knew that you used to do them live, man. If I knew, I would have joined a long time ago, bro. Seems
Um,
like a very interesting conversation, man.
absolutely.
Uh, I really like the factor that that these women are starting to tell on themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because of the internet. You know what I'm saying? The internet can give you the worst show you the worst side of someone, but I'm not saying that evil is not gender oriented or either racial oriented. Anyone can be evil, but people tend to not understand that just like a man can be evil, a woman can also be evil. It's all about who is she, or what kind of woman is she, you
Right,
know what
right,
I'm saying?
absolutely, absolutely. And that's the balance and this reciprocation of the energy. So, aviated views. Today's show is called "Interviewing with the Housewife," and we are here with a special guest, Lessons of a Housewife. And you know, we got Big Bro, Mr. Goodbread. Do you have any questions that you want to ask either one of them, or just anybody on the panel pertaining to the subject?
Okay. Um, I want to ask lessons of a housewife. How does she describe being submissive to her? What is submissive? What is being submissive to her means?
Okay. So, Lessons of a Housewife. I know you heard the question, and we went over that again, but
Mhm.
he came in late. If you don't mind, go ahead and break it down to him.
Being submissive to the man is understanding you're the subordinate, and that there are guidelines and rules that you have to follow under his leadership. And of course, these things comes with actions. So the actions that you partake in under his guide and leadership, as you understanding that you are the subordinate and he is law, that you're willing to have the faith in every decision that that man makes and take on the actions that he needs for you to do. You know, um,
Yes.
Being a submissive woman is knowing that what you do, everything that you do outside, for everything that you can do for your husband or your man is going to benefit him as being the leader. The man taking on his natural role to be able to guide you and educate you on what he deems fit for y'all to grow and having
Okay.
a good understanding in that.
Lessons of a housewife. I want to also ask.
Hold on,
Um.
real quick. What
Um.
what did you take out of that aviator? What did you take out of that? What she said? Did you agree? Disagree? Did you like what she said?
I agree. I agree with what she said, but I want to ask her a deeper question. I want to ask her about um I want to ask her about what kind of man do you respect the most, because there's a lot of type of men, but they always say there is certain person for another person, to fit for them. Or
Um,
I heard a lot
Hold
of
on,
women say that this man is not
hold on, aviator. I have to inform you. Lessons of a Housewife is a happily married woman. She's submitted to a husband, and she's done her part already.
yes, I know,
I
but I
need you
want
to
to
know
know.
that at least. All right, so go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, from her point of view, I want to know from a point of a married woman, what is a strong man for her? What is the definition of a strong man?
A man that has accumulated experiences and knowledge to be able to educate the next one he takes on.
That's great, but when partner picking, we all know in nature that the female always pick the partner that the most assure her survival. I want to ask if the partner, when the good women's the men the woman they call the pygmies, do they pick a man solely by their intelligence, or there other factors like sexual attractiveness? Because women these days are more catered to sexual attractiveness or physical attractiveness period than authority and principles, you
Good
know.
bread, you here, bro?
That's,
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I'm here. I'm
Get
listening.
in, man. Get in.
Mr. Aviated views. That's the one thing that I don't agree with. I think that's more of a modern concept that we're supposed to look for a guy to see that if he has a sexual attraction. I believe that, um, before we had all of this streaming stuff, that we honestly were more intrigued of what the man's mind was than what he was able to do. I think that came later, or how he looked. You know, Men are not supposed to be the pretty ones. So this whole idea that we're supposed to look for a sexual attract. Oh, he's got to look this way. He's got to look that way, and of course, he has to have a certain amount of value of financial stability to be able to provide this. They overlook if the man's even competent enough to be led to lead you.
But on the
So
standpoint, on the standpoint of a wife, like let's say for example, let's say for example, I don't know about your life, but let's say for example you met the man, but he had a lot of potential. He was very smart, very educated, but he didn't succeed yet. Would you be would you be up to the task to like support him during this journey? Let's say he's in medical school, he's learning toward being a doctor, but he's going through a lot of obstacle. Would you be down to go through these obstacles alongside him and to benefit from the fruit of the work by being with him and supporting him? How do you take that for? Do you think that woman doing that, it would be better for a lot of women doing that to prove to the man that that the woman is trustworthy and loving and caring, that the men can actually make build something with her?
So aviators, if I'm not mistaken, basically, you're asking, should should women start holding men down a little bit more instead of trying to be hypergamous and looking just for the best, but look,
Yes.
right? Okay, so I get what you're saying.
Lessons. Before you answer that, let me just jump in. You know what I mean? Guys, we gotta remember we can't one size shoe fit
Uh
all
huh.
on women, because if
Mm-hmm.
she gonna answer from a traditional minded conservative female's
Thank
point
you,
of
good
view,
bread.
you know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
Her answer do not hold no weight in the majority. You see, you know what I mean? And remember, you wanna ask certain questions when you get a once you identify you're dealing with a traditional conservative woman. Ask and form your questions different from the questions you will ask a modern woman,
Mm-hmm.
because the answer gonna be different, bro. Like, you can't force an answer on a woman that ain't got the answer for you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
The
yeah,
fact.
good bread. But I just want to get the answer of I would just want to get a traditional view of point
What
on holding it down, holding a man down. I just want
what
to
the
know it.
thing is, you like, and I get what good bread saying, and you aviated. I'm gonna let lessons talk, but the only thing I kind of can feel that she can answer is from an anecdotal experience, because she's actually married. She's been married for 8 years. She's actually holding a man down. She's actually doing all the things that you're saying. Whereas Mr. Goodbread is letting you know most of these women are not doing what she's doing. So the answer she gives is going to be uncommon. It ain't going to be the same answer that most women are going to give you.
Yes, I understand, but she can give me, she can also
Lessons,
give
go ahead.
me like a solution to fix the problem. You know what I'm saying? To fix the problem that
Okay,
you
okay.
know
So basically, you want to know, do you want her perspective, or do you
her
want to know how can
perspective,
we fix it?
her
All right, go,
perspective
go
of
ahead,
how to
lessons.
fix it.
Go ahead, lessons.
well, how to fix women actually starting to buckle down and be by their man's side more than the hypergamous idea of men? Is that the question?
Yes.
You know, it's hard for them to, because of the structure we live in now. They have access to the internet. They have all of these dating sites. They got the swipe this, swipe that. They got the Instagram feeds of women that's in Dubai marrying these, Dubai millionaires and all of this stuff. They honestly believe that these fantasies that they're being shown and on the internet and in entertainment is possible for them to live themselves. So that's why you have the modern women out here saying, I need a man with 6 figures. I need a man with 8 figures and all of this stuff. For them to actually buckle down, that for them to actually understand that's what they needed to do is when they hit the wall. They actually have to run straight through it to realize, dang, you know what? The ones that I passed
Well,
on that
damn.
to build with them, this could have been that one. Could have been the guy that I could have went off with. So to fix them, you can't fix the modern women. They have to, they'll figure it out on their own. But little girls that I want to actually help, to the age of 24, from 12 to 24, that can actually listen to my channel or follow my Instagram and can see, that there was a structure before this modern society that actually worked, will have to actually understand that there were two different types of worlds and
Facts.
start looking at men in a way of, okay, what can he teach me instead of what can he provide for me? And that's the only way
Fact.
to really fix it right now is to let these modern women just die off, to be honest, and try to save the little girls that are unaware.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
live, I
true.
live
But
in a dying tradition,
I,
so
lessons. I
but
think you touched on something earlier too. If we was to kill social media, if we was to delete the social media,
mhm.
not the internet, just the social media apps in these sites. If you delete that, that'll start. We'll see a little bit of a
Hmm.
change.
I
I
agree.
want
Did we have the TV still? There's so many shows now. I just seen a clip recently about a show that's about to be broadcast about baddies.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of women out here auditioning for it and fighting. They're literally allowing them to fight and curse and shake their butts and show their butts. And this is going to be on a regular television, you know?
right.
And
Miss
that is another big problem. We have given kids way too much access to this. And single mothers is a big part of the kids having these accesses because being that they have to work now and being that they're not in playing their regular part and following a law and order that they were supposed to have, they're giving these kids tablets and cell phones and TVs to buy time so they can go out and hang out and do what they need to do or go to work. So now the
uh
types of things are raising them.
Mrs. Lessons,
Ho-
I
Hold
want to
on,
tell
hold on,
you.
real quick, aviated. Hold your thought real quick. We got Source in the building. Unmute yourself, Source.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Peace to the gods and peace to the earth.
Yes,
What
sir.
up,
Yes, sir. Peace,
Sauce B?
peace.
What up?
Let Source chime in. Source, do you have any questions for anybody on the panel as far as lessons of a housewife, Mr. Goodbread, or myself?
I like what the young lady is talking about. I appreciate people like her. Means that younger women have, can can see something or have a vessel of some sort of example. You know, because not every not every young lady have the ability, via their moms to reflect on how a woman can actually succeed at just being the best feminine female that they can be. So I appreciate lessons of a housewife for even existing.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Yes.
And I commend your husband and the way you don't hold your husband down, you hold him up. So I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Thank you. That he is my sensei. He is my God. He is my law, my order, my life. I'm more willing to give my life than to have him sacrifice his life for me. And I've been infatuated with that man for so many years and still infatuated. I fall in love every day because every time he calls me, we can speak on the phone for hours and he still enlightens me with some new information or something that he's doing or a big plan that he has or what he wants to invest in. And it's so illuminating to me that I found a man that has so much knowledge. He's a big history buff. He's
Hey,
well
and
versed
can
in.
I ask something real quick?
Go
Sorry to
ahead.
jump
Go
back.
ahead. Go ahead.
You
Ask
know
your
what?
question, bro.
What's really commendable? It's not even a question. It's what she said that's really important. That a lot of uh, Christians or religious people who speak on God and the Most High seem to forget.
Facts.
is that
Facts. Speak on
is
it,
that
Source.
is
Talk
that
about it.
is that the man is the body of God, and the
Right.
woman is the spirit, the Holy Spirit, when she's in
Right.
sacred behavior. So what she said just now is really the message that I always want people to understand is that a woman cannot speak to God unless she's talking to a man.
Right. Ooh.
She can't sit there and tell anybody, "Oh,
Yeah.
I prayed last night and God spoke. The Spirit touched me." Then the Spirit touch you. That means she cheating on you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. That's
and, and,
because.
and, and this go back to what I was talking about when it comes to voting, the voting rights, and why democracy is so satanic. Because a woman's right to vote flows through her man. You don't need two people with the right to vote in one household. So you see how they screw
Yes.
and make
Yes.
us compete. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But they do that to give the woman their independence and feel like she don't need a man. But technically, you know what I mean? The patriarch represents God, man, woman, child. We
Mm-hmm.
supposed to submit to God. The woman gonna submit to us, and then the kids is gonna submit to her. In
Ooh,
that
you
order,
said
yeah.
it, good Brad. That's the message I wanted to say
Boom.
because in the Bible, it is said that man belongs to God and woman belongs to man. So
Yeah,
yeah,
indeed. The fact that she dropping that right now, just like nonchalantly, she didn't even think about it. There was no scariness in her voice. She didn't feel a doubt. You could tell there was no doubt. That means that, you know what I'm saying, they in the Holy Trinity.
She live it. She live it. That's why I tell people like, you gotta live that thing, man. You gotta live that thing, man.
guys,
Right,
guys,
right.
I wanna take a subject. It's about like that generational curse. Like there's a lot of single mother. We all know that. But what about the kids? If we don't give these kids a father figure, the same thing is gonna happen all over again.
I mean, I get you. Uh, the
Oh,
thing is, fathers are trying to be in their kids' lives, man.
I know there's a lot of who are trying to be in their kids' life, but either way, we have to fix the two side of the coins. It's like try to make these try to I don't know try to but the kids are already born. We can still stay away
That's a
from
good
mother
point.
woman, but the kids who are already born, we got to try to
That's why
enforce.
structure, social structure, got to be brought back in with and tapped into biology. So, for example, we got to stop telling kids just because maybe I might be a stepfather or my friend might be a stepfather that that's the way to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You got to start reminding them that adultery is not you sleeping with a woman who is married just because she's married with a certificate, but when a woman has a child, she's married, and young boys
That's a
got.
fact. I tell them that all the time. You're
yeah,
not to cut you off, but
Mhm.
gang, I gotta
yes.
bounce.
Because when a woman is pregnant, the
Oh,
man that impregnate her has marked her as his woman. You know that's how
Right,
nature's works. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yo, y'all holla at y'all, man. Y'all be safe. I see y'all later on at the school. Y'all already know.
facts, facts. Hey, your good bread. Let them know what time you coming on and everything. Close out the right way, man.
Uh, I'll probably be on like 9:30 tonight, y'all. 9:30. We gonna talk about the Tia Maury and her husband and the next door neighbor and all that chaotic crap, yo. But we gonna break it down to why so many divorces nowadays. I mean, we gonna break it down to the
Hey,
molecule.
peace, God. I love you, man. I might be at the work. You know, my human body still got to feed itself and the family, so I might not be able to chime in. But if I get a piece of time, I'll come over there too, man.
No doubt, bro. You already know you my silent mentor in real life, in real time. So I holla at you, bro. You already know.
Hey,
Hey,
good
man,
bread, man.
I love you,
Pre-
man. Peace.
Love you too, bro.
appreciate you
Thank
for
you.
sliding through, man.
Thank
Appreciate you,
you.
dog.
Good Brad, man. You know I'm gonna catch you later, man. You know how we do it every time, man. Me and OKL, we gonna catch you later. You know we
Yes,
always
sir.
together, man.
All right,
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
Y'all have fun, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, man, we finna close out soon. So guys, man, again, like this is a special guest, Lessons of a Housewife.
Yes. Thank you
She's
for having me.
look, she's not gonna be a stranger. Y'all check her page out. Definitely, she has breakdowns coming through. Source
Yes,
being
please
and
subscribe.
right, right. No, they're gonna subscribe. If they don't, then they got a problem with Mr. OKL. Uh, Source being and aviated views. Do you guys have any questions, concerns? Do y'all want to ask her anything before she gets up out of here? You guys have a virtuous woman here who's married, who's doing it the right way. And it doesn't even have to be a question where you're confused. This could be a question that you want people to see because a lot of people are not getting this information. All we see is the modern woman who's derogatory, et cetera, et cetera. So you have a virtuous woman right in front of you. uh, do you guys have any concerns, any questions, anything? Because I know
Mrs.
Aviator wanted to ask her a few things as well.
Mrs. Lesson, I want to ask. I always say that and a woman when no, let's say for example, most of these modern women don't have no father. You know, most of them don't have no father. But the problem is that the father is supposed to do 50% of the education of a woman. That's why the father is important, even more important in a girl's life than in a boy's life, even though it's important too. But because the girl is more prone to, to be victim to the to be aroused or to be following the system, to be brainwashed by the system. The problem is that I want to know on your side of the story, like what do you think about father uh being making their daughters ready to be wives, and the father being an important part of the process to making the girl 50% compliant, or 50% ready for a relationship? Because
Great question, bro. Great question.
um, I'm not sure if I can honestly agree about the father having the daughter be prepared. I I think that the mother is supposed to be in the role of what she acquires her daughter to be, and I mean completely 100% in her role, and how she idolizes her husband, which is the little girl's father, is the respect that little girl's going to have for the next man, and the father playing the best role of the man that he can possibly be will give her the guidelines and tools of what man she is supposed to be looking at. When it comes down to a father actually educating a daughter, it's really more on a protective spectrum of things, or maybe educational tools and structures, but not necessarily on how her role is. And that's why a lot of the modern women are training their little girls to be independent, because most of them were, and the ones before us were. When we were supposed to be in our best feminine role and wives roles, to be able to show the little girls of what to do. We consume through our eyes a lot more than our ears. That's why we are bad listeners. So being that we observe our mothers more, the mothers are supposed to teach us how to be wives. The father can only be an example of who she's supposed to marry. But he can
Mrs. Lesson,
educate her. He can
And
educate book
Let me
to
wise.
hold on
continue,
real quick. I want to piggyback real quick. I'm gonna let you go source real quick and aviate it. Hold your question. Let me ask you this lesson. So, I agree with you. A mother should be the role model. So, who do you think should pick the husband? Should it be the
The
mother?
fathers.
Okay.
the father. Okay, that's where I wanted to go at. I wanted to tell you that only a man's know a man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if I see that my daughter is fell in love for a thug, as a father, I know that he is a thug because I'm a man
Right.
myself. I know how to identify it. But my daughter can be blinded by emotion, and he can choose to ignore or do whatever she likes and ignore the you know
The
the
red
red
flags.
spot, the red
Right.
flags,
Right. 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 Hey,
um
hold on real quick. Aviator source. Let me get you in real quick. What you was finna say, source?
yeah, before I ask her a question, I wanted to compliment what she was saying. Whereas, this is why I say that spirituality and biology need to be seen as the same thing and not be separated the way modern capitalist society does it. For example, a daughter needs to be seen as the evolutionary continuum of a female. And likewise, the son is really the evolutionary continuity, or the new body or vessel for the spirit of the father. So when you have a daughter, she should be learning how to be a wife through the mother and picking up all the different skills that the mother have adapted through time, and timelines from grandmothers and different females around her, because all of us are one body, right? And the daughter really need to learn these things from the mother, but the father is there as the protector and the boundary setter for how far her emotions can be, go, because emotions can be led astray.
I agree to that.
Hmm.
Yes, and
You know,
this is
but
a
I agree to that. That the
yes,
idea of the man, the father controlling the emotional output. That is
yeah.
a I highly agree to that
that's what I
because of
was trying to
this,
Okay.
say.
All
the
right. So
father being the disciplinary is going to constrict, irrational emotions.
exactly, exactly. Source, ask your question real quick. I know you said you had a question for.
So, my question is, how rewarding is doing the duties of a wife for you? And yeah, that's just basically it. Because how rewarding is it for you? And how do you see this rewards benefiting you in eternity? Because obviously you're gonna have a daughter one day, perhaps, right? Or maybe you do already, and that means that you have a future.
I'm sorry. Repeat that question for me one more time, please.
Yeah. How rewarding is being a housewife who is submissive and being the Holy Spirit to your husband, being the Holy Father? How does that reward you, and how do you see yourself continuing as a daughter that you may one day or may have that I'm not aware of?
Oh yeah, I do have a daughter who's 6. And how rewarding it is for me is because I'm capable to be an example for my daughter. I'm capable to nourish her the best way possible because she has the great leadership in her home, in our home. Um, I know that she will prosper because she has two best examples of who to look for. Even though we're not going to consider her actually having that choice. Her father is definitely going to vet the next guy. Um, and being able to know that years down the line we're going to have so many experiences to talk about this once we retire, that our kids are well grown and I'm laying right next to the man that I went through to war with, and we bounce back on many a times. That's what retirement really is for couples, for old couples, is to think about of all the things that they've been through together since they met, and their kids well raised and spoiling their grandchildren through their retirements. And that's the prosperous life that I see at the end of the tunnel. To be able to leave with a smile on my face, to know my daughter had a vetted man that she was married off to, and I was given the opportunity from a great man to be the perfect example of what she should be.
Hmm.
And I think that has more value than anything, than money, than anything, any material in this world.
Well said. Source,
Great.
do you have a response for that?
Yeah, the reason why I say that is because what a lot of adults in this day and age don't know is that you could die tomorrow and you'll wake up your child. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally wake up being that child that you didn't do right behind. So, it's good that one day you may wake up and realize that your parents do love you, and that you might even have to pass on to do that. You might be able to transfer your consciousness correctly, which is what people used to do. That's why some people have memories of foreverness, and you might be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And break that curse of amnesia that is really grabbing the world right now. Because that's why some people can't remember they used to be their grandmother and their grandfather, because of these behaviors of separation and cutting off the legacy of thoughts and spiritual transmissions. But
That
I'm glad you
comment on that real quick.
yeah.
Go ahead, Lessons. Go ahead.
Um, I love what you said there, but the idea of a man's legacy is so when he is gone, that he does live on. I look at that as the internal part of a man's life. You know, um, I understand what you mean by spiritual, but I think that's what the dire need of just to have a prosperous world in general is when men do create their legacies on following their purpose and having these families and leaving behind a footprint,
But
a carbon footprint that can live on through education that they taught down, that got passed down through generations, to where their great 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 grandkids still talk about that guy. My great 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 grandfather was this type of man, and that's how a man can actually live on in spirit. Legacy is very important
so
for.
Mrs. Lesson, legacy for you, in term of legacy for you, is it either having a offspring and on inherit or leaving a offspring to be representing the father after the father's death, or is it the father working toward a goal of paving his name throughout history?
What's your question, Aviated?
I wanted to ask lessons of a housewife. Is the different? What is the your point of legacy? Is it about having offsprings that will be left here to represent the father in a certain way, or is it the father leaving his name around by doing incredible stuff around the world, throughout the world, and paving the way for a legacy of accomplishment,
Yeah, I could believe it could be all. A man actually having killed children, even though he's continued with his purpose and prospered enough to where it couldn't be known, his children will push it further. His DNA is going to push it further than anybody else, than any population out here. So him working on his purpose, building himself to leave behind a legacy, along with having his legacies, his children, his bloodline, cherish what he's done to pass it down to their generations and generations is the way that a man's life will live on. It's the perfect way to live. Not only is it just what he's done, but his DNA. And if his DNA cherishes what he's done, they're going to continue what his purpose was through time, So you asked the multiple questions there, but I honestly feel like it accumulated all down to just everything, what a man is, what he done with his purpose, having those children and being able to control his own household, and these children guided by his law and order, and respecting him enough to know that his hard work doesn't go in vain, that they take that on and cherish it down to the generations. That's a generational wealth of knowledge and wisdom that gets passed down. You get better generations to come because of this. That's a true legacy. The greatest, one of the greatest, many of the historical greats had many children. There's even Jewish people hold their bloodline dear. It's more of a bloodline, not necessarily a race um, or their whole dynamic. It's not necessarily a race or color or anything like that. It's actually their bloodline, the Jews, and they
Mhm.
used to inbreed a lot to keep that type of structure. They're more of a blood tie than anything. So when it comes down to a man's legacy, it's everything that is being passed down to all his children, and then passing down that same structure of life through it all. That's how you get the generational type of wealth for families.
That's
Real quick, I wanted to tell Aviated view something in simpleness, right? Everything she said can be reduced to this thought process. Basically, the behavior of the parents right now is the charge of the DNA that your child will have in their body as timeline and eternity progresses. So everything your parents do right now in their decorum, their
Yeah.
moral, their behavior, it's all inside you as a memory, either the absence of, the neglecting, or the presence. Remember, when you hear the word parents, you hear a parent. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
what they show, their light, the way that photons is mimicked, manipulated in your brain as an experience that you experience as a child, forevermore lives on in your DNA, and it becomes the way that your DNA is shaped and chiseled into, and that is manifested as habits and virtues that your children will have in eternity.
Right.
yeah, that's a great way
That was a
to
good way to
explain
put
it.
it. I ain't gonna lie.
First Bean, do you have any YouTube channel? You have a YouTube channel? You're a very spiritual man. Me myself, I'm trying to blend spirituality with scientific studies, it's fire.
Aviated. Don't worry. Source gonna be on here. If you, this his channel too. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna
Okay,
have him on here a little bit more, man.
that's great. Oh, I'm glad for the show. Lessons of a housewife. I've learned a lot on a perspective of a housewife. I'm very glad that Mr. OKL bring you to the show because we needed that on the YouTube panel.
That's right. That's right.
We needed the perspective of a housewife because modern women tend to not understand the most basic instruction, the most basic things.
Right.
You know, and it's hard to communicate sometime and ask them certain question. They will tell you most of the time their answer will be blank or prevalent or like without no substance at all. So I'm very glad that Mr. OKL have added you to the show. You've answered a lot of my question. I wish I could still keep you here to talk about more subject, but the time is running, and I'm
Hmm.
very happy for Mr. OKL to bring me to this panel, and I'm glad for this show. I'm glad for how this show is starting out, how this show is developing, and I'm happy. And I'm want to tell Mr. OKL, keep the work up, keep working toward the goal, man. You're gonna succeed because it's a very very good channel with a lot of good points. Very educated
Yes.
channel. I like it a lot.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you. We are going to succeed, not
Yes.
just myself.
I wish one day I'll you come to my panel and we'll talk about certain things because my YouTube channel will be focused on scientific studies with spiritualities and the relationship field and the mental of humans and how they behave, human
Hmm.
behavior, and mix in with like a sort of like other living beings behavior, how they behave, I would differ from their behavior.
Okay.
Just just to prove that we aren't the same. Even with primate, we aren't the same. We are a unique entity in of it all.
Hmm. Yep. I'll be more than excited to be on that panel.
Great.
Thank you for joining.
Source. I'm gonna go ahead and let you say your last piece real quick before I let Lessons of a Housewife close out. She's the guest, so she's going to be the showstopper for today.
Oh
Uh,
wow, thank you.
Mhm.
so yeah, again, much praises to the Most High in the form and fashion and embodiment of the husband whose name we do not know, but much praises to him and more empowerment and more blessings to the spirit, the Holy Spirit that he is blessed to have in his life.
Thank
This is
you.
Lessons of a Housewife, and
Thank you.
privacy is good. We don't need to know everything about y'all, but I appreciate y'all existence. And I know I have at least one temple to live in, which is you guys. And I appreciate the fact that Aviator Views came here. I appreciate Mr. OKL. And every channel is mine, bro. Mr. Aviator Views. Every I'm everywhere. I'm omnipotent.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate it all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having both of y'all, Source and Aviated Views. Lessons of a Housewife. Close out the show for us. Let us know how you thought about the show. Talk about the folks that questioned you. Just give us your spill.
Oh, well, this was awesome. I truly appreciate you bringing me on your platform. I'm glad everything worked out today. I loved all the questions. I don't mind answering questions. If I don't have an answer, I will definitely tell you. I love research too. So if there's things that I don't know, I'll definitely look it up and we can always bring it back again. So I really enjoyed everybody who joined on. I love the comments. I love everybody that joined in. I don't know how many was here, but I appreciate you giving me the start. I am a new channel, very new. Only have a few subscribers. Anybody who's not subscribed to me, please subscribe to me. But my name is the same as it is on my
Mm-hmm.
YouTube channel, Lessons of a Housewife. You can also follow me on IG at Lessons of a Housewife.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a Twitter. I've just now used it, but I was trying to get many routes because I don't know what everybody uses. It's Lower Volume 1 on Twitter if y'all use that also. I do drop a little bit of things there so you can still follow me there. And I just appreciated this all. I enjoyed speaking to every last one of you guys, even Mr. Goodbread. And I would not be a stranger.
Oh yeah, she's not gonna be a stranger. She's gonna be back, guys. She's gonna be back. And like she said, man, go to Lessons of a Housewife on YouTube and follow this lady here. Okay, this is a virtuous woman. She has a conducive message. She breaks the matrix. When we talk about nothing but modern women, she's not one of those. We loved having you, Lessons of a Housewife. I appreciate you
Thank
for
you.
joining the platform. That being said, it's your boy Mr. OKL. Okay, Izzy. Y'all hit that like button, subscription button, notification bell, and we will be back at y'all again soon. By the way, I'm gonna hit each one of y'all up on Instagram. All right.
Yes. Yes. Let me
And
know.
so we is out. We out. We out.
All right. Good night.